Welcome, everyone, to So Says Shernoff. I'm Josh Shernoff, and I am so glad you decided to join me here. We have a fun show for you today. ODB is joining me to talk about her food truck, but first, if you haven't already, do us a favor and give us a follow on social media over at So Says Shernoff and at Shernoff Show. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/So Says Shernoff. Now that that's out of the way, let's check out some headlines. The last month has been a tough one. It's been so bad that when the WWE announced that they were firing one of the writers, I was like, good, because this storyline has been horrible. Then I realized the storyline isn't a storyline at all, it's real life. And then I realized that instead of being glad they got rid of a writer, I was actually pretty sad about it, for two reasons. One, it's just another in a long list of people who have lost their jobs in the past few months. And two, because the likelihood of ever seeing Big Dick Johnson take his rightful place in the WWE Hall of Fame has just dropped significantly. Look, this month has been terrible. But I made a deal with myself from the very beginning that I would not make this a political platform whatsoever. This show is about pro wrestling, which is why I won't give my opinion on, say, the President of the United States, good or bad, because that would be political. Now, if I was able to, say, randomly pick a WWE Hall of Famer and objectively look at how they represented themselves, and if I were to judge them on the past month's journalistic representation and cold hard facts, well, then I would be able to say that come, November, I hope we all wish that guy the best of luck in his future endeavors by seeing him permanently removed. But, as it turns out, even before the Dark Side of the Ring episode, Jimmy Snuka was already removed from the Hall of Fame. So, hey, here's a fun thing for anyone who didn't get a chance to buy the Bray Wyatt belt. A site in the UK called Urban Species is selling a collection of WWE dress shirts. Now, before I show you these shirts, let me read to you from their site. WWE Dress Shirts Collection. WWE's mainstream household name status shows us that everyone likes to bring it raw from time to time. So why can't you be sharp and bring the smackdown? Well, now you can with our WWE Dress Shirt Collection. Whether you're a VIP at WrestleMania or styling at your office Christmas party, make sure you use code WWE15 to get 15% off. Wow, 15%? Well, that brings each shirt down to $95.48. That's right, these shirts that help you bring it raw are going for $112 US. So, okay, let's see what type of masterpieces we're dealing with here. All right. The WrestleMania logo shirt. Okay, first off, I should point out that you could subscribe to the WWE Network and spend a month binge watching every WrestleMania for $9.99. But let's say you need this shirt. Of the 36 WrestleManias, the shirt appears to only represent 20 or so. You'd think for $112 they could spring for a few more logos. All right, what else do we have? Okay, looks like we have two The Rock shirts. Nothing like wearing a $112 shirt with a picture of a guy who used to brag about wearing $5,000 shirts. What else? Okay, we have a shirt with the NWO logo, looking like a computer in 1996 that just logged onto a bad site with too many pop-ups. There's the DX logo. We have Sting's face a lot. And then, of course, the logo prints. There's one for every formal setting. Going to church? Here's an HBK shirt. Your friend's daughter's quinceañera? We've got Rey Mysterio. Funeral? The Undertaker. Getting together with your racist friends? There are a few more here, like Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, and Bret the Hitman Hart, which actually is kind of awesome. Wow, they have the heart, the skull. What's that, 4 logos? 112 divided by 4. So that's $28 per logo, plus it's a shirt. 100% satin cotton. concealed undercollar button. Okay, I'm sorry. Excuse me for just 1 second. Add to cart and purchased. I'm sorry, what were we talking about? Oh, right, yeah. Anyway, Henry Cejudo, feels like I'm saying that correctly. Henry Cejudo was one of the many fighters to accompany Mike Tyson to the ring for his altercation with Chris Jericho. And no, this is not a rerun from season -9. No, 10 years after Mike Tyson knocked Chris Jericho out on Monday Night Raw, Tyson and Jericho were at each other's throats on AEW Dynamite in what can only be described as not Tyson and Austin. But the big story to come out of this was the social media post by Cejudo after the show went off the air. He was backstage hyping his appearance while showing Mike Tyson and Chris Jericho laughing and discussing what had just gone down. Now, look, I get that kayfabe is dead. But between this and showing Brody Lee and Jon Moxley running through their match during a pre-show, and every time someone gets up from a Canadian destroyer, AEW is starting to feel a little less sport-based than advertised. But hey, you know what? Everyone makes mistakes. Accidents happen. Just ask Kairi Sane or Becky Lynch or really anyone who steps in the ring with Nia Jax. Speaking of WWE, looks like someone from the NXT roster has tested positive for COVID-19. This news comes one day after WWE allowed fans and friends of talent to be in the crowd during Raw. Word is that not only did these people have to sign a waiver, but much like Eric Bischoff talking to the WCW luchadors, they were told to lose the masks. That's right, WWE instructed these fans not to wear the masks. Good thing they had the giant plexiglass walls, which were especially effective during the Street Profits entrance through the crowd. That's like the people you see 6 inches from each other talking with their masks pulled down. Why are you wearing that mask in the first place then? There was one great shot of a woman throwing her hands up and backing away from the Street Profits as they ran by. But either way, WWE had to move their Raw and SmackDown tapings a day so that the entire roster and staff could be tested. At the time of this filming, those results are not back yet, but if history is any indication, I'm sure the show will go on no matter what. And that, folks, is Headlines. When we return, my interview with ODB. We'll be right back.
Did you know that most men have experienced a manscaping accident? Don't be that guy. Oh! Head to manscaped.com and for a limited time get a free pair of Manscaped boxers, free shipping, and a free Shed travel bag.
All right, everybody, please welcome my guest at this time. She is the one and only person in professional wrestling who also has her own food truck, ODB.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me.
What's up? What's going on?
So we're here to promote a couple of different things right now. One is the Barbecue Fight Club, and then, of course, we're going to promote ODB's food truck.
That sounds kind of dangerous. Barbecue Fight Club.
Barbecue Fight Club. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, now this is an event going on June 9th, 2020 on Fight TV. Tell us a little bit about what this event is.
God, I wish I could be there. So it's a bunch of barbecuers that are just going to show them their stuff. And I'm not like a barbecue competitor. I just rub a lot of meat, pull a lot of pork on my food truck and sell every day. So competition is very different from what I do. And I think it's so cool that all these guys and women do this for a living and compete and try to, who has the best meat. And I wish I could so be there, to lay the smackdown on some of these guys. I'm just kidding.
Well, now you said so that you don't compete. Is that something you've ever thought of doing?
I never have. I do watch Barbecue Pitmasters. I love Big Mo. It's just, I don't know. I would, I'll be a judge for it. I'll eat their food.
Sure.
But I'd really have to, it's a little different from what I do. So, but I do want to go to a competition one day. And actually, Memphis in May, I would love to go there and just see the whole thing.
So I was looking over, I have my notes here on this because I'm not a a barbecue fight club connoisseur, so to speak. I've never really seen the competitions before, but as soon as I found out about this event, it was very exciting to me. Look, barbecue and competition sounds pretty good to me. Everything that I'm reading here, one thing that really stood out to me was that it's sanctioned by the Kansas City Barbecue Society, which was not something that I even knew existed.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that there was like that these had to be sanctioned. I found that really interesting. You obviously with your food truck, do you ever run into, obviously you said you're not competing, but your food truck, you're driving, I'm assuming, in and out of different states. I remember your old food truck at Starcast before, so you take it other places. Do you ever have to deal with that, with like different counties, different states?
Oh gosh, yeah. I've been staying in Minnesota with my new food truck, but even in the state of Minnesota, every city I go to is a pain in the ass. It's just like, you get one permit, you got to get another one, you got to get another one. It is crazy, especially Minnesota. But when I do go to other states, they're more lenient. They're, since I do a lot of festivals like Rock Fest, Country Fest, Sturgis, you basically just get a permit for the event, and they're good. Then you get the health inspector to, jump on your truck and check it all out. But I am working on, hopefully, when all these festivals start getting back, 2021, I want to take this bitch on the road. I want to take it to the biggest festivals and maybe a competition or two. That'd be awesome.
That would be. And
one fight club on the road.
Yeah, seriously, we'll have to get more and more of these fight club events going on. So something that you mentioned, going to these different festivals, and you also mentioned not competing, but in a way, aren't you kind of, have you ever found, you pull up and there's right across from you another barbecue truck, and have you ever looked at that and said, all right, this is a competition whether we knew it was going to be or not?
Actually, that is fun. Yeah, that actually is true. That just happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I was in a city in Minnesota, and there was about 5 of us. And I looked down, and I'm like, another barbecue food trailer we got here. But I didn't see no smokers on his trailer, so.
So is that something you'll start doing, though? Will you start kind of maybe yelling out the window a little bit, just letting people know what you have, your edge up on the other one?
Fun too, especially like when I show up, people kind of look and they're like, "Oh, she's that pro wrestler with barbecue sauce," and I'm like, "Bring it, bitch!" Yeah,
because Lord knows, if you're a professional wrestler, of course you couldn't make good barbecue. Like that doesn't make any sense, right? Yeah,
we've tried a lot of meat on the road, right? What?
So what made you decide to start having a food truck? Obviously, you're a successful professional wrestler, as everybody watching this knows. What was it that said to you, what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to make a barbecue food truck. I'm going to hit the road with this.
Because I've always loved being on the road. And then when my contract was up a long time ago, and I was like, all right, now what? But I had my own barbecue sauce coming. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start traveling. I live in an Airstream trailer, so I traveled the country promoting my barbecue and hot sauces. And just went to like the biggest, festivals. I went to Sturgis, Daytona Bike Week, and went everywhere for a couple of years. And then someone's like, "You should open up a food truck." I didn't even think about it actually. So honestly, I literally dived right into it. My first year was a shit show with it in Daytona Beach, but I learned from my mistakes. And now I have a new food truck. So this is, I love it because it's literally a meet and greet everywhere I go.
It's
and
awesome.
If people don't know my wrestling history, they actually come to the food truck. I see them Googling. They're like, "Oh my God."
Yeah. So obviously your other food truck burnt down, which was not ideal. And a lot of people reached out, which speaks to the reputation you had in the wrestling business. And a lot of people reached out to try and get this. I don't know if it speaks to your reputation or just how damn good your food is on that truck. That people are like, no, like I don't even know if I like her or not, but we need that food back, right? No, but is there anything when you took that opportunity? And obviously, I mean, looking at this truck, I've seen the other one in person, but this just looks enormous. Is this bigger than the last one? Does this have more?
Night and day. It's definitely at another 12 feet, and this one's a driving one. So now I'm pimping. I'm officially a food trucker.
Ah, okay. Yes, the other one was just attached on.
Yeah, the trailer. So I was, pulling it everywhere, and that did suck. But, I look back at it, and I'm glad it burned down. I'm not glad at the time.
Sure.
But I believe everything happens for a reason, and I cannot thank the wrestling family for all the support. I didn't realize how much I was loved in the wrestling world. I mean, DDP literally called me the next day. He's like, "Hey, what's up, ODB? It's DDP." I'm like, "Oh, shit." For him to reach out, and then Mick Foley, and then TNA Impact,
Yeah.
It was just crazy. It was awesome, and then, then I got this, and now I'm back on the road doing better than ever during all this time. So I thank all my wrestling fans and wrestlers for getting me back on the road.
Now, you mentioned during this time, obviously, with this worldwide pandemic, is really not ideal for any business for the most part. How have you been affected by that?
Honestly, it hasn't affected. It's actually, my food truck is doing better than ever. This is my 3rd year of food trucking. And I literally bought this thing right on St. Patty's Day, and I was driving home with it, literally when everything was shutting down. And I'm like, oh, crap, here we go. But I thought outside the box, and I'm kind of like the ice cream woman. I go to neighborhoods.
Oh, wow. That's
People
great.
book me for their neighborhood, and it's good. And then everyone gathers together, and then I do a lot of breweries now. Breweries are still open for curbside pickup. Then, of course, when I'm there, everyone cracks their beer in the parking lot.
Right.
So it's basically a big tailgating party.
So, for anybody who's maybe checking this out because they're looking into whatever this barbecue fight club is going to be, when I first saw that, I was just like, this seems so interesting, so outside the box.
Yeah.
Can you give everybody kind of like an idea of what a barbecue fight club is? What these competitions? We know obviously people are cooking and there are judges there, but what is more than that? Can you expand on that of what something like this is?
I'm kind of new at it too, so I would be expecting. I hope people have fun with it. Obviously, you're gonna find out who has the best meat, and it's just the way of smoking. Everyone has their unique way of smoking their meat, and I think it'd be cool. I think everyone should kind of just get into their own character and have fun with it. And actually, I think there needs to be a belt made for barbecue fit club. It's definitely not a fit club, fight club.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. I think there should be.
Because I actually have my own custom. I'll show it to you.
Please.
Actually, Top Rope made me my own custom belt here. I think the Fight Club needs one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's pretty badass. So I think Fight Club needs to get on that.
I think so. Yeah, we're going to have to talk to Mike Weber. Tell him.
Yeah, come on, Weber.
Get that belt. Come on, we need that belt. I'm still
I think
trying
it'd just be fun, too, just to, like, I hope all the competitors, like, give each other crap and, maybe.
Well, that's what we want. You can't say this is going to be a barbecue fight club and then have everybody just overly polite and quietly prepare their meals.
You can't be sensitive. You got to just do it.
No,
just have fun with it.
We have to have fun with it.
Yeah.
So where primarily are you, where can people primarily find your food truck? Obviously right now, like you said, people are booking you for neighborhoods and breweries, but where primarily, if anyone's watching this?
I'm in Minnesota, so I'm staying in Minnesota for the rest of the year, but it does snow here. So I am packing this up in November. I have 2 states that I'm going back and forth on that I'm going to go to all winter. So keep watching me on my social media, odbsmeetandgreet.com, and you will find out where I will be this winter. But I'm going to be stationed in Minnesota all summer, though.
Okay. For anybody who's in Minnesota who's watching this, can you give us maybe like your top 2, the absolute must meals that they need to get when they come to you?
Oh, yes. My number 1 seller is the Pork You Nachos.
Okay.
And my favorite is called Meat in a Cup. So literally everything's piled in a cup. You got your baked beans, your pulled pork, coleslaw, and a pickle with my barbecue sauce on the top. And then you pick your cup size, B, C, or double D.
The meat in a cup was, I know, in the like the staff room of Starcast, the first Starcast.
Oh, really?
I know that was a big hit. The meat in the cup. There are a lot of empty cups on the table.
A lot of double Ds.
A lot of double Ds. Yeah. So last question here, just in general, you kind of mentioned your social media. You let everybody know where they can find you online. And I guess the other question is, when wrestling opens back up, do you have any intentions of being back in the ring?
Honestly, I would love to get back in the ring. I got back in the ring a few months back with TNA Impact, NWA. That was a lot of fun. NWA was a lot of fun. And then AEW about a year ago at StarCast, and I would love to get back. I still got it.
Oh, yeah.
Still get the bam.
Oh, there we go. I was waiting for when that was going to happen. It's not a proper interview without that. Where can everybody find you on social media?
At the ODB BAM. So I got Instagram, Twitter, and my Facebook page. And I have a YouTube channel, so I'm starting posting. I give you a little tour of my food truck, so go check out just look for ODB's Meet and Greet, and I'll pop up.
Awesome. ODB, thank you so much for taking the time. Best of luck with everything.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Bam!
Take a trip into the mind of the Meanie, a brand new podcast featuring former WWE and ECW star, The Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the mind of the Meanie. Subscribe now and follow us on social media at Mind of the Meanie. That's our show, but before we go, this was our 20th episode. Now, I know this show is monthly. It's not like I'm banging out an episode a week, but for 20 months now, I have been lucky enough to talk at you about a business I love. I literally get paid to joke about wrestling. It's insane. And it has opened the doors to so many great opportunities, from On the Ropes to my work with Fight and AEW to getting to host a weekly podcast with the Blue Meanie. In March of this year, we were told that our show couldn't film in the studio as planned due to COVID-19. We had to tell fans the show was moved and then tell those same fans that they couldn't come at all. We did a show from my office with only 2 crew members. By April, it was just me and a camera here in my home office. This month was tough. It was tough to satirically commentate on wrestling with all that's going on in the world. It felt unimportant. There's an invisible threat that is still killing people. There are very visible threats that are killing a specific type of people. There are families celebrating birthdays and graduations and attending funerals over Zoom. And I'm supposed to talk about how the greatest wrestling match ever had 15 people magically sound like 15,000. Look, it's my job to entertain you and take you away from the garbage of everyday life. But for the past month, it has felt almost impossible to write something funny about pro wrestling. But I did. Or tried to, at least. And part of that is because of something my grandmother once said. No matter how bad the world can get, no matter how hopeless things might seem, she would say, always look for the good things in life. Look for the happy side. It's very important because there's always a happy side. So don't let it go by. I hope that with this silly little show, for just 30 minutes, I was able to be that happy side for all of you. That's our show. We will be back next month, but until then, be safe, be kind, be happy. This has been So Says Shernoff, because that is what Shernoff had to say. So long, everybody.